I still remember the exact moment my heart cracked open in front of everyone, like a raw egg spilling across their perfect table. 10 hands shot up, one after another, voting that my 12-year-old daughter shouldn't come to Christmas because she wasn't one of the little ones anymore. And she just sat there, small on that stupid piano bench, watching every wrist rise like it was the most natural thing in the world. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just whispered, "Got it," and felt something inside me die quietly. That was the moment I stopped being their doormat. My name's Ethan, 41 years old. Live in a little brick house on the east side of Indianapolis with siding that's starting to peel like old paint on a forgotten fence. I'm the guy you call when your furnace quits in January. I show up with frozen fingers, fix it clean, and leave without making a mess. Steady job, steady life. Just me and my girl, Harper. She's got these big hazel eyes that see everything, and a laugh that still surprises me every time I hear it. We used to go to my parents' place for every holiday, every birthday, every random Sunday roast. I'd bring whatever Mom texted. "Don't make anything fancy, Ethan. Just grab rolls from the store," which really meant, "If you cook, we'll pick it apart." That Thanksgiving, I walked in carrying a store-bought apple pie, because that's what she'd asked for. Harper had spent the drive folding a paper star out of notebook paper, tongue poking out in concentration. She was quiet the whole way there. She always got quiet before we crossed their threshold. The dining room smelled like rosemary and that oversweet candle Mom lights every year. The table was set for 13 beautiful printed name cards in her perfect cursive. Mom, Dad, my sister Claire, her husband Ryan, Aunt Linda, Uncle Greg, Grandma, Grandpa, their golden boy Noah, little Sophie, baby Jack, and one blank guest. No card for me. No card for Harper. I pretended it didn't sting. I was used to being the afterthought, the extra folding chair dragged in from the garage. We hadn't even taken our coats off when Mom tapped her wine glass with a spoon, smiling like she was announcing dessert early. "Quick family decision, everyone," she said brightly. "Christmas Eve is getting crowded with all the little cousins running around. Hands up if we think Harper should sit this one out. Stay home and relax, avoid the chaos." It took a second for the words to land. Then 10 hands. Up. Instantly. No hesitation. Dad's first, then Claire's, then even Grandma's shaky one. Nobody looked at Harper. Nobody dared. I turned to her. She was clutching that paper star so tight the edges crumpled. Her eyes were wide, glassy, fixed on all those raised arms like they were a wall closing in. My throat burned. The grandfather clock in the hall ticked loud enough to feel in my teeth. Mom shrugged, still smiling. "It'll be easier, sweetheart. We'll FaceTime you girls." Like that fixed it. Like a screen could replace belonging. I managed one word. "Got it." I set the pie down next to the cake, already decorated with my nephew Noah's name in blue icing. Harper quietly asked if she could help with napkins. Mom waved her off. "We've got a system, honey," and sent her back to the bench like an unwanted guest. I should have grabbed her hand and walked out right then. But I didn't. Not yet. See, I've always been the reliable one. The human ATM. When Dad's roof started leaking, I paid the deductible. When Claire and Ryan wanted to finish their basement, I floated them $8,000 until tax season. When Mom's car needed brakes, I put on my card and told her to pay me when she could. She never did. Every Friday, for 6 years, I sent $200 to help with Grandma's meds. I fixed Uncle Greg's AC unit for free on my only day off. I never kept score out loud. I just kept giving, thinking someday they'd see me. Really see me. With Harper, it was worse. They never hit her. They just erased. Forgot her name on the cousin gift exchange. Took family photos and told us to wait for the next one. That never happened. Set her at the kids' card table with a paper plate while everyone else got china. Once she spent hours drawing Grandma a picture of flowers. Grandma thanked her, then used it as a coaster for her iced tea until the ink ran. I told myself it was small stuff. Told myself I was teaching Harper resilience by not making waves. But that night, watching those hands rise in front of her face, something snapped clean in half. We left before dessert. Sat in my truck with the heat blasting, apple pie forgotten on their counter. Harper stared out the windshield into the dark. "I'm not little," she whispered. They made me feel little. I couldn't answer at first. My hands gripped the wheel so hard my knuckles went white. All I could say was, "I know, baby. I know." And in that frozen silence, I promised her, and myself, that it stopped now. A week later, Mom called while I was on a service call, elbow deep in a condenser unit. "Sweetheart," she started, voice syrupy, "don't say no yet. Claire and Ryan found their dream house. 4 bedrooms, great schools, huge yard. But the bank's being ridiculous about Ryan's old student loans. They just need a co-signer for a year or 2. You've got perfect credit, Ethan. It won't cost you a thing, just your name on the paper. $362,000. 30-year mortgage. My name on the hook if they ever missed a payment." I stare at my cracked, greasy hands. Thought about Harper on that piano bench. Thought about every dollar I'd handed over without a thank you that lasted. Mom kept talking. "We'll have you over for Christmas in the new place. It'll be gorgeous," like she'd already forgotten the vote. "Mom," I said. My voice was steady in a way that scared even me. "No." She laughed, like I was joking. "Ethan, come on." "No, I won't co-sign." Silence. Then her tone flipped. "You're doing this because of some silly dinner misunderstanding? You're punishing your sister over seating arrangements?" "It's not about seating. It's about what you all told my daughter with those raised hands. She's not welcome in your family. I'm done bankrolling it." She hissed my full name the way she did when I was 10 and broke a window. "This is dramatic. The loan officer already has her email. Just sign, Ethan. Don't make this a thing. It's already a thing." I hung up. The DocuSign hit my inbox an hour later. My name pre-filled as borrower 2. $362,000 glaring in bold. I scrolled to the end. Big blue button, sign. I clicked decline. Type my reason calm and clear. "I will not co-sign this loan." Hit submit. Took screenshots. Saved everything. The fallout came fast and ugly. Mom left voicemails that swung from pleading to furious. Claire sent essays about timelines and how they'd already given notice on their rental. Ryan texted a single word, "asshole." Dad didn't text. He showed up. I was rinsing dinner plates when his headlights swept across the kitchen window. Harper was coloring at the table. She froze when the hard knock came, 3 sharp bangs like a warning. "Bedroom, sweetheart," I told her softly. She went without a word. I opened the door just enough to block the entry. Dad stood on the porch in the snow, face red, hands trembling. "What the hell are you doing to your mother?" he barked. I declined to co-sign a mortgage. "That's all. You've always been the one who steps up. That's who you are." "Not anymore." He scoffed. "All this over one Christmas? You voted my daughter out of the family in front of her face. Raise your hand like it was nothing. I'm not funding a life where she doesn't belong." His eyes flashed. "So you're holding money over our heads?" "I've been bleeding money for years while you all treated my kid like an inconvenience. No more." He shouted then. Ungrateful, selfish, letting a child control me. I let him run out of steam. Snow piled on his shoulders. When he finally stopped, chest heaving, I said quietly, "Dad, I'm not your backup plan anymore." He stared past me into our little living room. The secondhand couch, the crooked tree Harper decorated with paper chains, the 2 empty chairs waiting for whoever actually wanted to be here. Something flickered across his face. Maybe the first time he saw we had a life separate from his version of family. Then he muttered, "You'll regret this," turned, and left. Tires spun on ice as he peeled away. Harper came out her socks. "Is Grandpa mad at me?" "No, baby. He's mad at me for finally saying no. But we're okay. We're more than okay." The group texts exploded for days. Guilt trips, prayer emojis, links to the house listing, accusations that I thought I was better than them. I left them on read. Set up a folder called Family Receipts and dragged in every transfer, every bill I'd paid over the years. Not for revenge, just proof I wasn't crazy. Christmas Eve came cold and quiet. Over at my parents' house, there was probably a perfect tree, matching stockings, piles of gifts, and chaos with the little cousins. Here, our tree leaned a little because I suck at trimming trunks. Gifts wrapped in whatever paper was left from Harper's birthday. I baked a ham, made box mac and cheese the way she likes it, extra crispy, and set the table with our mismatched plates. I put out 2 extra settings just in case. At 6 sharp, the doorbell rang. Harper's eyes went wide. I opened it to my cousin Seth and his wife Maya, people we only ever saw when Mom controlled the guest list. They stood on the porch holding a bottle of wine and a tray of brownies, snowflakes melting in their hair. "We heard about the vote," Seth said quietly as he hugged me. "Figured we'd rather spend Christmas with people who actually want kids at the table." Harper ran to the door. "You came," she said, voice cracking with surprise and relief. "We ate. We laughed, we played cards, and made up ridiculous rules." Harper told a story about school that had Maya crying from laughter. Nobody mentioned mortgages or raised hands or missed calls lighting on my phone on silent. When Seth and Maya left, Harper stood waving until their car disappeared. She looked at the two empty chairs still pulled up to our table. "Are those for them next year?" "Those are for anyone who chooses us," I said. She nodded slowly, then smiled, a real one that reached her eyes for the first time in weeks. We sat on the couch under the glowing tree lights, sharing the last brownie. And for the first time in years, Christmas felt like home. But here's what still keeps me up some nights. Part of me wonders if I did the right thing, cutting them off so completely. Blood is thick, they say. Forgiveness is thicker. If this was your kid sitting on that bench, watching every hand rise against her, if this was your heart breaking in real time, would you have forgiven them? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.